Today, we are the Embassy of Malaysia in Mexico with His Excellency Ambassador Jamal Sharifuddin Bin Johan. Thank you for this interview.
Thank you, Daniela, for coming.
To begin this conversation, I wish to ask you, how has your stay in Mexico been so far?
So far, my stay in Mexico has been wonderful. I arrived in November 2023,
Okay.
and there were many statues around Mexico City. I think it was one day after the Day of the Dead.
Yeah.
So I was surprised by the rich culture of Mexico. But my stay has been very, very pleasant. And usually when I get posted overseas, I get homesick. But in Mexico, no. Even though it's so far away from Malaysia, the people have been so warm and kind and friendly and hospitable. And I feel like it's like Malaysia because they're always trying to talk to you, assist you, help you. So my stay has been extremely wonderful. I've had great cooperation from SRE and from the other ministries and agencies in Mexico. And I think personally, I'm doing very well, but even professionally, I think we're making strides in enhancing the relations between both countries.
Thank you for these words for the people of Mexico. And how did you see the relationship between Malaysia and Mexico? Tell me.
The relationship has been very warm and cordial and friendly.
Okay.
And we are great partners in so many areas, in multilateralism. We cooperate well at the UN. We cooperate well with each other as well. And I think the biggest thing is probably commerce, business. In terms of trade and investments, it has grown exponentially over the years. Malaysia is now a top 10 trading partner of Mexico, and the total trade between the two countries has grown, I think, by three times more since the last 5 years. And we are cooperating well in so many areas, and now in education and culture, and we hope that this will continue for the next, God knows how long.
Yeah, I agree that Malaysia and Mexico will be more areas with cooperation, and I think that it's important to talk aspects that you consider most representative of your country to the world.
To the world, well, Malaysia has had a long history, just like Mexico. We've had many empires, and we were at the center of the maritime trading route. So we had a lot of business between China and India passing through Malaysia. This was in the past. But obviously, over the years, over the centuries, just like Mexico, we were also colonized. But for us, it was Portugal. Then after that, the Dutch, and then Britain. So basically, historically, we've then in 1957 we gained our independence, and we are now an extremely pluralistic society with a mix of Malays, Indians, Chinese, and indigenous people converging to make what we now term as Malaysia, truly Asia. It's full of diversity. So you have a mix of cultures. You have a kaleidoscope of various religious festivals, and it's a world-class scene in terms of the food. The food scene is world-class because it's a lot of mixture of food. So it's an extremely diverse country. I think that's the big selling point to the world, that we are extremely diverse, yet we are one of the most peaceful and stable countries in the world. Previously, we were not top 10, I believe, and therefore we can live in unity, and there's a lot of understanding and compromise between the peoples of Malaysia, and that is what we are very proud of. I think if one were to come to Malaysia, you see the nature of Malaysia, where churches, temples, and mosques are all side by side, and we are extremely peaceful, and we're happy that we're proud. I'm proud to be a Malaysian because of that, because of the diversity.
And how important is cultural and social integration with ASEAN? Yeah,
Within ASEAN,
ASEAN. Yeah.
ASEAN basically cultural, religious, and ethnical harmony is probably the cornerstone of the ASEAN community.
Okay.
We are we were chairman of ASEAN throughout last year up until 31st December, and we place people-centered ASEAN as the focus of our chairmanship. So basically, it's not just trying to get economic development and other aspects of political life in ASEAN correct, but what ASEAN does has to affect the people.
Okay.
The people must feel the benefits of ASEAN. That means all 700 million people throughout the region has to benefit from what ASEAN is doing. So basically, they get involved, and we proud ourselves with the slogan "Unity in Diversity" for ASEAN, and I hope I'm sure that we made a lot of strides towards that direction. That people are more united, people know what ASEAN is and how it benefits them. And even when I traveled in the region in Southeast Asia, they always ask me, "Oh, you are from Malaysia, or that means you're ASEAN." So we are part of the ASEAN family. So they will get more warm and friendly interactions with the people of other countries within the region. And I think ASEAN has done well in that aspect, and I hope we can take steps to further solidify the unity within the region.
And in specific, Malaysia is part of ASEAN.
Yes.
But what doesn't ASEAN mean for Malaysia?
ASEAN mean for Malaysia, ASEAN is a big regional bloc.
Okay.
We are 11 countries now because Timor-Leste just joined last year. So what ASEAN, I guess for ASEAN in terms of diplomacy, it gives us better leverage to
Okay.
how to discuss it with other partners, with other countries. It is an extremely beneficial community in that sense because we have a lot more leverage when we talk to other partners, and we have tremendous partners, and they are extremely large partners. We're talking about China, Japan, India, US, Canada, and EU, and we can basically it helps us in that sense. But ASEAN itself, it's within the region. You can feel that there's a lot more. We try to synchronize our policies on a lot of matters like migration, climate change, economic development, sustainable energy, and we're moving towards that direction as a whole block.
Okay.
So, just for instance, Daniela, when I speak to some of the officials here, or even the ministers or governors, and I tell them, okay, please invest in Malaysia, or Mexican invest in Malaysia. Okay, if you cannot invest in Malaysia, why don't you consider one of the other 10 ASEAN countries, like Thailand, Singapore? We are open to that. You can come, and we are happy if you just come and just explore more of ASEAN as a whole, Malaysia in particular, but ASEAN as a whole. Please do come because we are all part of one community, the ASEAN community.
Mexico and Malaysia have identified trade sector such as semiconductors, artificial intelligence, and renewable energy. How do you envision the potential for collaboration in these specific areas?
Well, I think the potential for collaboration is extraordinary because both Mexico and Malaysia, in those three areas that you mentioned, particularly the first two, semiconductors and artificial intelligence, I think we're part of the same global supply chain. Malaysia is now the 13th largest producer of semiconductors. We specialize in advanced testing and packaging.
Okay.
And I think based on discussions I've had with Mexican officials, Mexico is more into the design of the semiconductors. We are also exploring that area. So the collaboration is great, is huge, because Mexico has its robust electronics and automotive manufacturing sector, and we are part of that supply chain as well. I think that is a big reason for the growth in trade I mentioned earlier. And I think we can cooperate really well. Your institutions are offering so many programs, and we are trying to get our educational institutions, especially our educational institutions, to look into that and whether we can somehow get more Malaysians here, or vice versa, more Mexicans to Malaysia. And that is in the semiconductor area. And we're also now very much focused on AI ready chip making, AI technology, and how to bring that into the manufacturing of, let's say, in Mexico, where, like I told you before, electronics and the automotive sector. So there's a lot of potential collaboration there. Also on sustainable energy, you mentioned. I think we also have the National Energy Transition Roadmap that is for Malaysia, and we know that Mexico, particularly under the administration of President Claudia Sheinbaum, is extremely focused in green technologies and a sustainable future and sustainable infrastructure. So I think there's great collaboration, great potential for collaboration in that area as well. Because it's kind of funny because Mexico and Malaysia are sort of like on the same path with the same direction, and we are sort of like at the same place of how we are looking at how the world should evolve and how our future should be built upon. I mean, in how we move towards the future. And I think that's great because then there's a lot of potential for greater collaboration between the two countries.
And what opportunities exist for companies and institutions from both countries to work together and technology and maybe innovation projects?
Technology, there are a lot of opportunities for both countries to work together. One, both are members of the Comprehensive Partnership, Trans-Pacific Partnership, CPTPP, and therefore that already covers the trade and regulatory requirements of both countries. And definitely, we will work well in advanced manufacturing because of our prowess in electronics and also semiconductors. I think that will couple well with Mexico's manufacturing base, and there are great collaboration potential in the business side, definitely in the business side and the manufacturing side. But even beyond that, when you look at institutions or R&D institutions, I think both sides can work really well. Many areas to collaborate with. I visited a few already institutions, and they are very interested, especially when it comes to Malaysia because of CPTPP, and also because of what we have done, and we have also created a name in terms of our semiconductor ability, which we started in the 1970s. So we've done quite a while on that, but we're definitely willing to share. Both are developing countries, both have immense potential, and we hope that we can actually do more collaboration in research, in institutions, in manufacturing in these areas.
And around of this item, what is the current business activity in Mexico in relation to your country?
The current business activity, I think there's so many. In 2024, this is according to INEGI, which is according to Mexico statistics. I think our trade has reached $12.7 billion.
Okay.
Our total trade. The one trend that I see that over the last couple of years and even last year, I think there's a surge in demand for Mexican products. And Malaysia has exports to Malaysia have increased tremendously. In 2024, it was about 30%. And I think last year, it would probably be about 70% increase in exports to Malaysia. So trade is growing tremendously well. And obviously, the thing is that when what we export to Mexico is mainly electrical and electronics components, and the main thing that, and also applied machinery used for manufacturing or applied machinery, and what we import from Mexico is also the same: electrical and electronics and machinery parts and applied machinery components. So it's great in that sense because even in those areas, you can see the potential of growth that I know. You can probably say that we need Mexico and Mexico needs us. We both need each other, and that has been tremendous. We've also have investments, and we have investments in Dexen, which is basically food stuff, and the main investment from Mexico is missions food, which is also food stuff. Yeah, expertise in bread, in tacos, and yeah, it's really appreciated in Malaysia. I can see a lot more potential in both countries. Both countries are big recipients of foreign direct investments,
Yeah.
and the future just looks bright for both countries.
And finally, what message would you like to share with the people of Mexico about your country and about the future of the bilateral relationship?
Message is that last 2 years ago we celebrated the 50th anniversary of diplomatic ties between Malaysia and Mexico. There is so much potential for both countries, not just in business and trade and investments, but also in education, in culture, in tourism, and more connectivity between the two countries.
Yeah.
I can see that improving a lot as well. We are very far, but actually we're just across the pond, small pond called the Pacific. The message I would like to give to your viewers is that you are so welcome to Malaysia. And please take advantage of coming to Malaysia. This year is Visit Malaysia Year 2026. So we will have a host of activities and festivals throughout the year. And I hope that more Mexicans take advantage and come to Malaysia, not only for business, not only for education, but to visit Malaysia and experience our ethos, which is Malaysia, truly Asia, and see for yourselves the mountain of diversity that we have. At the same time, I'm just reminding your viewers that I'm also encouraging Malaysians to visit Mexico. It is a wonderful country. It is full of culture and nature and traditions, and the history is just fantastic. And probably you need more than a week to come here because it's such a huge country. But let's hope that we have more people relations on top of government and officials visiting each other.
Thank you for the invitation to visit Malaysia, and thank you for this interesting interview, Ambassador.
Thank you so much, Daniela. It was a pleasure having you.
Thank you.